Angel Reese did things last night I'm not sure we've ever seen on a basketball court. I was like, is this real? Did this happen?
Angel Reese just had one of the worst performances of her career, struggling with reckless play and unnecessary roughness. It wasn't just her stats, it was how she fell apart on the court, delivering a disaster class showing that left everyone shaking their heads at the meltdown.
Brushed the Rose BC, and Angel, well, she did some rather interesting things on the court. And Napheesa Collier, well, look now, one thing we could say, they are not afraid of Angel Reese and the Rose BC, because after hitting the game-winning shot, Napheesa had some real words.
Collier had enough of Angel Reese's antics and made sure to humble her in the most effective way possible. If you're looking for a masterclass in shutting down a trash talker, you're in the right place. We're breaking down every hilarious moment that exposed Reese for what she truly is, a player more focused on theatrics than actual basketball. Reese came into this game with her usual bravado, acting like she was ready to dominate. But within minutes, it was clear she was more interested in showboating than helping her team win. Instead of playing smart, she tried to intimidate opponents through reckless passes and made one bad decision after another. The numbers speak for themselves. This wasn't just a bad game for Reese. It was an outright disaster, and Collier made sure she felt every bit of it.
Angel Reese was on Napheesa Collier, giving her a bunch of frustrating...
Let's dive into the numbers because, honestly, they're hilarious. Reese racked up 7 turnovers. Yes, 7. And these weren't just small mistakes. They were some of the most ridiculous errors you'll see at the pro level. At one point, she threw the ball straight into the backboard, grabbed her own pass like she was playing catch with herself, then stood there looking completely baffled as if she couldn't believe what just happened. It was a meltdown for the ages, and the stats tell the whole story. Clip's overconfidence got the best of Angel Reese as she took some of the most questionable shots imaginable, completely missing the mark. When she wasn't throwing up bricks, she was attempting to play bull.
For 16 for 17 points, 10 boards last night, 7 damn turnovers. Napheesa Collier right here, 7 of 16. She had 16 points, 9 rebounds.
Shoving and body-checking Napheesa Collier in an effort to get in her head. But instead of letting Reese's antics affect her, Collier did what true professionals do. She stayed locked in, focused on the game, and exposed Reese for her lack of skill every time she tried to get physical. Collier responded the best way possible, by dominating on the scoreboard. Reese has built a reputation on aggression and theatrics, but this game showed just how little that translates to actual basketball skill. Social media wasted no time roasting her for her flops and erratic play, pointing out how, for all her talk about physicality, she collapsed dramatically when it suited her. Instead of stepping up under pressure, she resorted to ineffective antics that only made her look out of place. While Collier remained focused and let her performance speak for itself, Reese flailed, seeking attention for all the wrong reasons. And when the game was on the line, she made one final glaring mistake, panicking under pressure and throwing a pass straight to the opponent, another wasted possession, another moment of humiliation. The contrast between the two players was
basketball player in the history of basketball, in my opinion. She has no skills. She knows that she's not a very good basketball player. That's why she spends so much time half naked and taking pictures and promoting things that have nothing to do.
Crystal clear by the end of the game. Collier was the definition of professionalism, poised, disciplined, and clutch. Reese, on the other hand, looked like an overhyped player unable to control her emotions. This loss wasn't just another game for Reese, it was a harsh reality check about her reckless and undisciplined style of play. While she's built her brand on trash talk and drama, games like this reveal she's not in the same league as true stars like Collier or Caitlin Clark. The difference between talk and talent was on full display, and Reese walked away with nothing but another embarrassing loss. One of the game's most baffling moments came when Reese, with an open layup opportunity, inexplicably passed the ball behind her instead of finishing the play. Another example of her poor decision-making. She refused to take responsibility for her mistakes, instead deflecting blame to referees, teammates, coaches, and even the court itself. It was classic Reese behavior: act tough, play recklessly, and claim to be a victim when things don't go her way. Meanwhile, Napheesa Collier and the Lynx celebrated a well-earned victory. She showcased what true leadership looks like: playing smart, disciplined basketball and delivering in the clutch. Collier didn't need trash talk or theatrics. She let her game do the talking, leading her team to victory with precision and poise. 3 weeks into the season, Unrivaled is struggling to sell out an 800-seat studio, and TNT Sports may soon reconsider their investment due to lackluster ratings. Despite the hype, Reese isn't drawing the viewership expected of a supposed game-changing star. Social media had a field day with her meltdown, highlighting her 7 turnovers, missed layups, and final possession blunder. One tweet summed it up perfectly. Angel Reese talks like she's Shaq, but plays like a YMCA hooper who just learned the rules. Even worse for Reese, the WNBA is watching. Coaches, analysts, and even teammates are beginning to recognize the pattern. Her reckless play isn't helping her team win, isn't improving her skills, and certainly isn't earning her respect from the league's top players. If she doesn't adjust soon, she risks becoming just another overhyped player who never lived up to the talk. In contrast, Napheesa Collier showed that real stars don't need theatrics to prove their worth. She took everything Reese threw at her, absorbed it, and responded with pure basketball excellence. The difference between maturity and reckless arrogance was evident. One player let her game do the talking, while the other let her mouth run while her performance fell apart. And in the end, only one walked away with the win: Napheesa Collier, the true star of the night. So what's next for Angel Reese? If history is any indication, she'll either double down on the drama or finally realize that true greatness is earned on the court, not on social media. Overconfidence got the best of Angel Reese as she took some of the most ridiculous shots imaginable, completely missing the mark. When she wasn't throwing up bricks, she was trying to play bully ball, constantly shoving and body-checking Napheesa Collier in an attempt to get in her head. But instead of letting Reese's antics rattle her, Collier did what true professionals do. She stayed locked in, focused on the game, and exposed Reese every time she got physical. The best response to Reese's aggressive play? Collier dominated her on the scoreboard. Reese has built her reputation on trash talk and physicality, but when push comes to shove, her skill set doesn't back up the hype. Social media wasted no time roasting her flop, pointing out how, for all her claims of being tough, she sure went down easily when it suited her. It was another reminder that while Reese enjoys playing the villain, she struggles when the pressure is on. Rather than proving her dominance, she resorted to antics that made her look out of place. Meanwhile, Collier remained poised and professional. She didn't need to engage in drama. Her performance spoke for itself. While Reese was flailing around, trying to make headlines for all the wrong reasons, Collier was delivering bucket after bucket, proving why she's one of the best in the game. Every time Reese tried to get under her skin, Collier responded with pure basketball excellence. And just when Reese's night couldn't get any worse, she made one final mistake, panicking under pressure and throwing a pass directly to an opponent, leading to another wasted possession and a moment of pure humiliation. It's becoming increasingly clear that Reese is more focused on being an influencer than an elite basketball player. Between taking pictures, hanging out with rappers, and promoting everything but basketball, her priorities seem misplaced. On the court, her reckless style of play continues to cost her team. The contrast between her and Collier was undeniable. While Collier was the definition of professionalism, Reese was an overhyped player who let her emotions take over. This loss wasn't just another bad game for Reese, it was an exposure of her reckless and undisciplined style of play. She's built her brand on drama, but games like this highlight why she's not in the same league as true stars like Collier or Caitlin Clark. The difference between talk and talent was on full display, and Reese walked away with nothing but another embarrassing loss, One particular play perfectly summed up her struggles. With the court wide open, she had an easy layup opportunity, but inexplicably passed it to a teammate behind her, completely botching the possession. Instead of taking responsibility for her mistakes, she immediately went into damage control mode. Rather than acknowledging her poor performance, she deflected blame onto her teammates, the refs, and even the court itself. It was classic Reese behavior. Act tough, play recklessly, and when things don't go her way, play the victim. Meanwhile, Collier and her team celebrated a well-earned victory. She had done exactly what a leader should do: stay focused, play smart basketball, and deliver in the clutch. She didn't need to resort to cheap shots or theatrics. Her game spoke for itself. While Reese was busy complaining, Collier was leading her team to victory with poise and precision. 3 weeks into the season, Unrivaled is already struggling to sell out a small 800-seat venue. At some point, TNT Sports will realize they aren't making money because they have no ratings. Reese isn't pulling in viewers. Her last game barely managed 80,000. Fans are beginning to see through the hype. One person summed it up perfectly. Angel Reese talks like she's Shaq but plays like a YMCA hooper who just learned the rules.